We said see you later to the beautiful Antigua and made our way across to Barbuda. The fishing wasn't bad on this little passage either. We had absolutely no idea what was in store for us when we arrived at Barbuda. It was so much different to every other Caribbean island we'd been at so far. We made landfall on a beach which reminded us of some of our beaches back in Australia. Beautiful clean sand and the turquoise waters. What an absolutely beautiful location to share sundowners. I took the GoPro for a swim on the rocky little headland just to check out to see what the coral was like. And there was some soft corals in the beautiful, warm, shallow waters. The very next day, along with a bunch of other cruisers, we met a local guide by the name of Cliff, who took us around and showed us the sights on this island. The first location that our guide Cliff took us to was the old ruins of the Codrington residence. The town of Codrington, the main centre on the island, is named after this family. It was founded in 1685. To get to the next location, Cliff guided us along this trail through the bush. We encountered quite a few of these little land tortoises on this trail. After a short walk, Cliff led us to the edge of this massive sinkhole in the limestone. The trail disappeared into the scrub. It became very steep and very rocky to get down to the bottom of the sinkhole. But once down on the floor of this cavern, it was like a different world, different trees, different foliage, different plants. There was a lot more moisture down here than what there was up top. It was a really hot walk heading back out to the vehicles, as the day had warmed up quite a bit. Once back in the vehicles, it was time to drive around to the Atlantic side of the island.
That's where California friends not looking like that crap.
Once we arrived at our destination, Cliff showed us where the slaves were brought in to the only little beach on this side of the island, and this became their jail, their holding cell, while they were then trained to work in the plantations. The beach where they made landfall. This trail led up from the ruins and the beach up to the base of the cliff, where there was a massive cave. The trail led right up through the cave and up to this very steep section where there was a vent up at the back of it that we climbed up and out onto the plateau above. It even looked steeper when you look back down. The views out over the Atlantic Ocean were magnificent, and just to think that we had sailed across from Europe over to Antigua across this same ocean almost 12 months before. You could say by the time we got back down to the vehicles, we were all a little hot and bothered. We noticed the rain front coming in across the island as we were heading to our final destination. This would be the main settlement on the island, Codrington.
So this is Codrington.
The closer we got to our final destination, the heavier the rain became. The one really good thing about being rained on, it was cooling and refreshing. We have arrived at what would be a really nice little beachside restaurant. The rum punches they served here were really good, and the lobster lunch was something special.
I must show you the one I got easy at the stingray.
It was time for us to move on. We said see you later to the beautiful island of Barbuda, and we headed off for St. Barts. It was in St. Barts where we caught up with Krista and Craig. We have not seen this couple since Dominica as we were heading south for the hurricane season. Krista and Craig took us all over St. Barts to show us the sights. By the looks of the flags, it might get a little windy here. After a good catch-up, it was time for us to hoist the sails and sail for St. Marten. It was just like old times, as this is my third visit and Annie's second to this location in the Simpson Bay Lagoon. We managed to anchor in almost the same spot. We caught up with old and new friends while we were here. This was our first time at the bar alongside the drawbridge to watch the boats come and go. We said see you later to St Marten. We hoisted our sails and set our course for the British Virgin Islands. This passage from St Marten to the BVIs took us just over 8 hours. We found a really nice spot to drop the anchor up in the bitter end of North Gorda Sound. And the remora or suckerfish was still here. This also put us in very easy reach of the Saba Rock. We spent a few nights here at anchor. We love this location. We have been here many times. We sailed down to Sopper's Hole via Roadtown on Tortola. Once in Sopper's Hole, we had to leave Anacam on a secure mooring, go through passport control and take the ferry over to the US Virgin Islands. It was a very quick trip, as it's only about 12 nautical miles across to our destination of St John to clear in. Once we got through border control and we were cleared into the US Virgin Islands, we had some time to kill while we waited for a return ferry. I couldn't believe it. Annie found a market. After going through passport control, it was another ferry ride back over to the British Virgin Islands to Sopper's Hole, where Anacam was waiting our return. We made clearance in the British Virgin Islands for both Anacam and us too. We sailed back over to St John's to go back through border control once again. Thank you for watching. The next video in the series will be the US Virgin Islands, the Spanish Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and beyond.